the silent negotiator. All right, so we all know time is a constant. It ticks away at the same rate for everyone. But here's the thing. Time doesn't affect everyone equally in a negotiation. Cohen starts by pointing out that most people think of negotiation as a fixed event with a clear start and end point. For example, you might schedule a meeting with your boss to ask for a raise, and you know it'll last an hour because they have another appointment right after. That end point, the deadline, is where all the action happens. The pressure of last-minute decisions. Most concessions and agreements happen at the very last minute. Think about it. When do most people file their taxes? April 15th, right? When does a student start or finish a term paper? The night before it's due. Even Congress passes most of its bills right before recess. It's human nature to wait until the pressure's on to make decisions. Why? Because of decision fatigue and loss aversion, two psychological factors that influence behavior. As time runs out, people feel overwhelmed and just want to get it over with, often making rushed choices to avoid losing the deal altogether. That's why deadlines are so powerful in negotiations. The power of deadlines. Cohen explains that deadlines create pressure, and pressure leads to concessions. If you know the other side's deadline but they don't know yours, you have a huge advantage. Why? Because as their deadline approaches, their stress levels rise, and they're more likely to give in to your demands. Meanwhile, you can stay calm and hold out for a better deal. To illustrate this, Cohen shares a personal story. Early in his career, he was sent to Tokyo to negotiate with the Japanese. He was eager to wipe out the competition, his words, not mine. But the Japanese had a different strategy. They spent over a week showing him around, taking him to dinners, and immersing him in their culture, all while avoiding serious negotiations. By the time they finally sat down at the table, Cohen was on the verge of leaving. With his flight looming, he felt the pressure to close the deal quickly, making major concessions. Meanwhile, the Japanese negotiators remained patient, knowing exactly how to use his deadline against him. Lesson: if you know the other side's deadline and they don't know yours, you're in the driver's seat. Use their time pressure to your advantage. Deadlines are more flexible than you think. Here's another important point. Deadlines are often more flexible than we assume. Most of the time, we impose deadlines on ourselves. Take taxes, for example. The IRS says they're due by April 15th, but what really happens if you file late? If you owe money, you'll pay a penalty, but if the government owes you a refund, there's no penalty at all. Yet people rush to file on time, even when they're getting money back, because they've internalized the deadline as non-negotiable. Cohen encourages us to question deadlines in negotiations. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I miss this deadline? Often, the consequences aren't as bad as we imagine. By staying calm and flexible, you can avoid making rushed decisions that don't serve your best interests. The other side always has a deadline. Even if the other side seems relaxed and unhurried, they always have a deadline. Cohen points to the Vietnam War peace talks as an example. The North Vietnamese acted like they had all the time in the world, while the Americans were eager to wrap things up. The North Vietnamese even rented a villa with a 2.5-year lease, while the U.S. representatives stayed in a week-to-week hotel room. That difference in attitude gave the North Vietnamese a massive advantage. Lesson: the other side may act like they're in no rush, but they're under pressure too. Don't let their calm demeanor fool you. Patience pays off. Cohen emphasizes that patience is a superpower in negotiation. Since most of the action happens at, or even beyond the deadline, those who stay calm and wait it out often secure better deals. Rushing to close the deal too quickly can lead to unnecessary concessions. Instead, hold your ground, keep your emotions in check, and let the pressure work in your favor. Final thought, time is on your side. Time can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy in a negotiation. It all depends on how you use it. By staying patient, questioning deadlines, and keeping your cool, you can turn the ticking clock into a powerful tool. As Cohen puts it, true strength often calls for the ability to sustain the tension without fight or flight. So next time you're in a negotiation, remember, time is on your side if you let it be.
Ever wished a book could change your life? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Bookpecker, where we peck into the pages of the most insightful books on financial freedom, personal growth, and beyond. I break down must-reads, share real takeaways, and help you unlock knowledge without the fluff. Expect honest reviews, practical lessons, and maybe a surprise or two along the way. So, if you love books and want to grow, subscribe now and let's explore together.